conference, they will decide what to do within 2 weeks or so. But the problem and the money each member nations can draw request from CMIM, Chiang-Mai Initiative multilateralization is as much as 19.2 for 5 Northeast Asian nations. As far as 5 big ASEAN nations are concerned, they can draw 2.5 times as much as they actually donated reserve. Rest of the Asian nations can draw 5 times of each other donation. The AMRO is ASEAN plus 3 macro research organization. It's a surveillance institution to check about macro indices of ASEAN plus 3 nations. So through all those research and survey, they will provide policy recommendations to ASEAN plus 3 finance ministers. So AMRO is obviously very important. It's supposed to play a very important role. And so who will be the first head of AMRO became a very delicate political issue. And what had happened was that Chinese candidate became the first AMRO head. But second, the Chinese head will remain in the position only for 1 year, despite that the tenure was as long as 3 years. Remaining 2 years are going to be faced by Japanese representative. So that the compromise again was achieved between 2 nations. Let me repeat that AMF was supposed to be as big as $100 billion. Now CMI is as big as $120 billion. So it could be AMF in future. But the point is that 80% of the money that nation who made the request are supposed to come with the consent of IMF linkage. Unless IMF agreed to provide money to the nation who made the request, 80% of money won't come, despite all those money basically come from East Asian nations. So still IMF is very strong. And what had happened in 2008 in South Korea, Republic of Korea, Korean won plunged because of Lehman Brothers shock. They needed instant foreign currency, US dollar. And what the Korean government did was basically they didn't use CMIM. Instead, the Korean government asked the United States FRB, Foreign Reserve Board, to supply US dollar to South Korea. And Korean government asked Japan and China to agree simple bilateral swap agreement between the 2 nations. So CMIM has never been used yet. So it is too early to say that CMIM is usable, effective. There are, especially IMF linkage is quite an important point. We should probably ameliorate further. Okay. CMI, Chiang-Mai Initiative is something we established for rainy day, future rainy day. Okay. When local currency went down, we need a US dollar to maintain the value of local currency. Right? But still, we are depending on US dollar. Okay. And Asian currency unit is something different. It is for ordinary day. It is instrument to prepare the sudden decline of value of US dollar, instead of decline of local currency, the Asian currencies. let me talk a little about ACU, Asian Currency Unit. Okay, the guy you were seeing on the right side is Haruhiko Kuroda, who is currently governor of Asian Developmental Bank. And he appointed his colleague, Hawaii, to be head of Research Institute of ADB. And they started working on researching on the possibility of Asian Currency Index. The idea is like the case of Korean won in 2008, the decline of local currency or fluctuation of local currency does not necessarily come equal basis on each local Asian currencies. So one nation, for example, might be hit very terribly, like we have seen the case in Thai in 1997. If we have agreed Asian currency unit with which that each local currency are basically pegged, the fluctuation will come together for all the member nations. What I'm talking about is each nation is too small, so fluctuation could be like this. But if we are together, fluctuation will be like this, and the damage will be divided in each member nation's equal basis. This is the idea of ACU, and it can be used as export invoices and bank loans and bond issuance in Asia. That means that it will increase. It will obviously has a possibility to increase intra-regional trade, economic activities, so we can decrease the dependency on US dollars. That's the idea of ACU, and it can be kind of new outcome. Remember, we had experienced difficulty of pegging to US dollar. It is good during a fine day, but when we come across rainy day, I mean, the pegging fixed exchange ratio with US dollar became terrible. So instead of having US dollar as an anchor, the idea is we'll have our common currency index, ACU. And ADB Kuroda proposed that idea at the annual meeting of ADB and the ASEAN Plus 3 meeting in 2006 at Hyderabad, India. India, Thai, and most of the Southeast Asian nations supported that idea, but the United States didn't like that idea. I guess you all know what their main aim of ADB is. It is a developmental bank, right? So this is not necessarily developmental policy, but rather financial cooperation among East Asian nations. So some different mission is creeping in. That's what Under Secretary of Treasury Tim Adams had mentioned. And the French didn't like that idea either. By having said that ADB is getting out of its own central business. And China didn't like that idea either. Most Asian nations wanted Taiwan, Hong Kong being part of that ACU because Taiwan and Hong Kong do possess relatively large economies. So without having Taiwan, Hong Kong being part of ACU could be not as strong as it should be. But of course, it is politically very difficult for China I should rather say, foreign exchange regimes of Asian nations are so different. China still maintains kind of strictly controlled, strictly managed floating system, while Japan system is much more freer floating system, and some nations still pay to US dollar. So we need to unify all those foreign exchange regimes. It's a huge business, and if we can do it, it's going to be huge achievement. Yet it is quite difficult, and more than that, when we have a currency basket, such as SU, the weight of each currency will be very critical. Each nation would like to have heavier weight, larger weight, so that the difference between SU and your currency won't be that much big. So it's a really critical issue, even among Southeast Asian nations who have a larger share, can be a critical issue. Conclusion. So, despite of economic rationality, political feasibility is very important too. How to achieve agreement among East Asian nations, and at least we need to win the consent of the United States too. That's a very difficult part. CMI and Miyazaki Initiative were agreed by the United States and China and most East Asian nations because Miyazaki Initiative was one-time experiment, and CMI didn't have a central decision-making body. It started without having central decision-making body, so that United States thought it's kind of one-time, very casual attempt. It's not gonna impose any serious threat to US dollar or IMF. But as I have said, it is evolving. It is becoming institutionalized gradually. But still, IMF linkage became kind of important impediment. Okay. Yeah. Conclusion two. Since China is main focus of today's symposium, I'm going to touch upon a little further about China. Rivalry with Japan was obviously very important. China didn't like AMF because Japan could be a dominant power in that trial. If we are talking about the years like 1997, 1998, but things have changed ever since 15 years have passed after that. And CMI, again, like the United States, was not considered going to be dominated by Japan, so that China supported that idea. SU is still a very difficult question. It is still a remote possibility among ourselves, mostly because of difference of foreign exchange regimes. China still maintain kind of strictly managed foreign system. And ASEAN has been obviously very important mediator. I really hope that ASEAN continue to be so. But if Japan, China can agree to be more deeply cooperative, well, I think it could be done through the mediation of ASEAN. So Indonesia's role obviously will be very important, and I really hope that you play such a role in future from now on. And that's about it. If we do not, okay, let me talk a little about Europe. Germany agreed to make neutral currencies such as euro as a common currency of European nations, right? If Germany opposed and if they waited a little longer, German mark could be the common currency of Europe. But because Germany wanted to be admitted, its own unification with East Germany by France and many other countries, it is said that it considered to give a mark as a German mark as unified currency of Europe, and they agreed to have a neutral currency like euro. If we can do the same thing in Asia, I think it's going to be wonderful. Of course, it takes a very long time, and it is too early to talk about common currency yet, of course. Yet, future is that probably we should be headed toward that direction. If we do nothing and waited too long, despite China saying that it is not seeking hegemony, it could achieve hegemony, maybe without the intention. So renminbi could be a common currency of East Asia. If it is something that we really want, that's okay. But if we really do not want that, we should do something now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, arigato, Professor Keiji Nakatsuji. So without further ado, good morning everyone. I hope everyone is wide awake. It's good morning because I wanted to make sure that everyone is still feel that this is morning, not afternoon. So it's not time to take a nap yet. We'll still have very many interesting topics to discuss. But shifting forward, we will continue with a presentation from Dr. Tirta Nugraha Mursamita. This presentation is co-authored with Mr. Pamungkas Adewanto. So a little bit about Mr. Mursitama. He is the head of the Department of International Relations at the Faculty of Humanities of the Bina Nusantara University. He was senior lecturer at the Department of International Relations at our Faculty of Social and Political Science here at the Universitas Indonesia prior to joining Bina Nusantara University this year. And then while holding also a position as Executive Director of the Center for East Asian Cooperative Studies of the Universitas Indonesia for 2 periods in 2007 till 2012. He is also a network of East Asian think tanks, country coordinator for Indonesia, which hold a PhD and a master degree in strategic management from Gaishukin University of Japan, and of course a bachelor degree of international relations from our Department of International Relations. His research interests have been in political economic dynamism of international, regional, and domestic interdependence with special reference to East Asian regions. He has published many books. One of the latest book entitled The Strategy of the Three Dragons, Political Economy of Chinese National Oil Companies in Indonesia, which is co-authored with Maisa Yuwono, which is also a lecturer. And also many other books which I will not mention one by one to save time. And a little bit about Mr. Pamungkas Dewanto. He's a very distinguished researcher. He received an award from the Chief Commander of Naval Operation of the Indonesian Navy on 2010, prior to his runner-up position of National Essay Competition on Maritime Issues. At the same year, his writing on employment issues also received the Best 200 Authors of the World Bank in 2010. In spite of his early career as a researcher, he has been a very good analyst in the international affairs and has proved that his frequently publication in several national notable newspaper and journal. He has also accomplished a research as a research assistant funded by the University of Indonesia entitled National Interest of Indonesia's Foreign Policy, the case study of ASEAN-China Free Trade Area. So that was the qualitative research. And now, simultaneously, is also an expert assistant to the Indonesian Member of Parliament and also writing on behalf of the Center for East Asian Cooperation Studies of the Universitas Indonesia. So anyway, this is a very two distinguished, excellent speakers for today, and I will just like to give the next time to Dr. Mursitama.
Okay, thank you. Let me stand up here because to keep my eyes open. Okay. First of all, I would like to admit that this paper is co-authored by my former student and now become my colleague, okay, Pamungkas Dewanto, is sitting there. So this is a part of board we have been discussing how to breed or how to grow up the younger scholars. And I would like to inform you that he's going to study, pursuing the graduate study in Ratsumikang University this September. So I think this is a good opportunity to all the students here. My former student, maybe, yeah, from IR,